So thanks for letting us do that. Now let's get to the thing that we've been working on. Do you kind of want to explain what this new series of podcasts that we're doing?
Yeah. So it's basically just going to be a draft almost of teams' best players and basically mine and yours, top 7 of each of those pool. So we're going to start off with the Atlantic Conference, or the Atlantic Division, rather, sorry.
And then to add on to that, what we will do with these teams is we will play and then simulate
other, I guess.
and make highlight reels of through 2K and to see what these legendary teams would look like and how they match up. Patch together clips. I think it'd be funny to check it out. So we are starting with the Atlantic Division. Okay, let me.
First team on the docket.
Okay,
the most classic team in NBA. When you think about NBA,
it's a good one to start out with.
You got the little leprechaun and then the Jerry West logo.
Yeah,
easily the 2 most iconic white figures in basketball.
Who do you think that was based off of? That little leprechaun. Jerry West.
I have no idea.
They just hated Jerry West, so they just made him a little leprechaun.
Like in Celtics, dude. Age-old classic team. We have so many people to choose from this team. We could make like 4
it's really disgusting.
Celtics teams. It would keep going on.
The omissions are kind of gross.
We would have to have like a bracket elimination style of all the Celtics teams that we could pit against each other.
Honestly, yeah, we could do a whole 2K tournament of just Celtics playing each other.
Celtics, yeah, we pretty much could.
Okay, so let's go through the pool real quick.
A lot of short shorts in this one.
So we have Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Bill Walton, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, Dennis Johnson, Bob Cousy, Jason Tatum, Robert Parrish. Did you have anybody to add to that?
John Havlicek.
John Havlicek, yep.
You got Cousy in there. Rondo. That's probably the only one I think you missed is Havlicek. There's other guys. There's other great Celtics.
I know.
Like Sam Jones and oh god, dude. I sound like an idiot saying like there's great ones and I just named one.
Well, we got
there's too many. There's too many old ones to really like keep count.
When you win 11 championships and however many, I mean, you just own a.
Tom Heinsohn, I think, was a Celtic at one point, or a Celtic his entire life. Bill Walton for a second.
Okay, so how do we feel about this top 7? Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Kevin McHale, Paul Pierce, Dennis Johnson, Jason Tatum, Rondo. It feels like Havlicek and Cousy got the shaft there.
Yeah, they kind of did. I did a little bit of a revision of it. It's pretty much the same thing. I just added Cousy and Havlicek instead of Dennis Johnson and Jason Tatum. And let me tell you why.
Took out Tatum. Okay, this is interesting.
I took out Tatum. I know he's their draft pick, and he's like probably the next future Celtic great. But at the same time, he hasn't really made a mark in the NBA yet, or not in the NBA, as in the Celtics franchise. Like for you to be considered a great Celtic, do you know how many championships you have to win? At least one.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's the criteria.
It's just like, wow, dude, like they really like Jason Tatum either has to stay with the Celtics long enough for them to really get it together, or it's just I just don't think I can see him, weathering the storm of what's going to look like a pretty decent Eastern Conference coming up in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think this is a contentious point for us because I think that he provides some modern.
Oh, for sure. I think even in a game of 2K too, like you definitely would need Jason Tatum over Cousy or Havlicek, who, you don't even know if they can shoot from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Like, was it invented?
Yeah, that's the kind of sucky thing about this is like, is trying to figure out how those old. I mean, you can kind of project how someone would play in the modern era, but in a format like 2K, it's interesting to try to figure out how Kuzu and Havlicek would do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it feels like Dennis Johnson from the list that I said would need to be replaced, but I Tatum just
He
seems
would
like
work though.
such a
He would
mismatch.
work in something like this though. Dude, he was 6'4" as a point guard.
Who?
Dennis Johnson.
Yeah, I know. He in a amazing
Big point
defender.
guard. Yeah, and he was a good one. Just ultimate floor general. Just know how to take care of the rock. He was good defensively. What else can you ask for? You win titles like that, dude.
And they
So
did.
that's a great choice. And honestly, he's a little fun to play with too in 2K. He's bounced around this fucking league that I have. Now he's on the Kings, and the Kings actually beat the fucking crazy ass Lakers and like fucking I don't know, dude. Like I was trying to be the Kings every time. It's hella hard though because the Lakers are hella fun to play with. But like I wanted the Kings to advance, so I would try to play as the Kings. That was a dogfight, dude. But Dennis Johnson was hella fun to use. I think he'd be a great player to put back into the game.
Okay, so let's finalize this real quick. So let's look at the positionally what we have.
Okay.
So we have Bird at small
Is that our
forward,
power forward or our small forward?
small forward, I guess in this case.
Okay.
And then you got as your front court, you have McHale and Russell,
Of course.
and then you'd have, I guess, Pierce at a 2 guard,
Mm-hmm.
2-3 role, and I guess you'd start Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson or Rondo? I think I would start.
But the thing with Rondo and Bird, I just don't see that being a great fit because you want Rondo to have the ball all the time, but I also want Larry Bird to have the ball all the time. And Dennis Johnson can play off the ball more.
Did the Dennis Johnson, can play off the ball more, but I think Larry Bird is just good off the ball too. Like Larry Bird doesn't have to really create a shot if Rondo is literally slicing people up trying to get to the 10.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, like he
And
could
the
easily
buckets
cross
Russell
two
get.
defenders and with this crazy wingspan arm, just kind of, we've seen Rondo do it. He's Rondo.
I love Rondo.
Point guard Rondo was amazing. Amazing.
So good.
He barely took shots, but he didn't need to. And that's kind of what you want out of a point guard. Because most point guards, they get their money because they can score.
Mm-hmm.
Most
Especially
point guards come in with such an offensive game that if they were 2 inches taller, they'd be a shooting guard or a small forward. But the size and everything, it doesn't really limit them. But we all know the stigma of a point guard. Not really now in the day, but they're generally the smallest player on the court or whatever. But I think Rondo.
You definitely talked me into Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo.
So I think he's such a dog. He's done it, and we've seen him be better than LeBron. We've seen him just really had success against those Heat teams. And yeah, I mean, he's someone I'd want on the team. But my thing is, if we have Rondo, I feel like Jason Tatum is absolutely necessary off the bench. Because if you look at this team, this is a great defensive team. Okay, let me pause on that a little. You have great defensive parts to it, but I believe that seventh man would need to be an offensive guy.
Pretty much everyone can score on this team. I don't know about Bill Russell. Bill Russell's his game would probably
Russell and Rondo kind of. If we're talking about a legacy team, they're probably not the most prolific scorers.
Yeah.
But I mean, defensively, and I mean Rondo offensively in the sense of anything but scoring is pretty remarkable.
True. Yeah. No, he has every facet, and we've even seen him make some big. He's a big shot maker too. He doesn't take hella shots. He doesn't make hella shots, but he's a big shot maker. We've seen him.
That seems to be important. It's hard to put that into stats.
He's got ice water in his veins, dude. That sometimes.
Occasionally. So yeah. So do we want to? Are we keeping Dennis Johnson, or are we moving Havlicek or
I want to put DJ on the bench. Fuck Havlicek. I like DJ.
Fakuzi?
Yeah, fuck it.
Actual Celtics fans are like crying right
You don't even know who fucking Bob Cousy was, pal.
now. I think this is a little too. I mean, we've only got 2 white guys. They must be freaking out right now in Boston.
Yeah, Boston's
We're like, oh, we have the greatest legacy of white guys, and you choose 2 of us.
Flip it out. Jason Tatum.
Come on, he hasn't done diddly squat. Okay, so So let's go through a couple categories real quick. Who's the ultimate warrior? Who is the ultimate Celtic?
Russell. LB.
Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Not Russell? Okay.
No, not Bill Russell. No.
I would have gone Russell there.
Gotta be Larry Bird.
Give me your Larry Bird case real quick.
Dude, I mean, just being the guy, the boy from French Lick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was everything about the 80s pretty much that you could want in like a complete shooter. He was good defensively too. I'm pretty sure he had his moments. But I mean, him and his battles with Magic, dude, it makes him that ultimate warrior for this team. He put his body on the line for that team. I'm sure Bill Russell did the same thing. But Bill Russell was also probably playing against guys like me and you.
6'4", me and you.
Yeah, a couple maybe 5'11s. I don't know what's going on over there, but definitely wasn't as competitive as what Larry Bird was dealing with. Larry Bird was getting fucking whooped up. Like, he would, like, literally, if players didn't like the way Larry was doing things, they were gonna fight. Like, literally, you can't fight anymore. And to think in the 80s, if players didn't like each other for a second, they could throw swings at each other. They could just swing at each other for a second, and then the refs will go. So
it almost feels healthy how they handle things.
Yeah, for me,
compared to nowadays.
Yeah, for me, Larry Bird is like the colonel of the Celtics. He's already seen a bunch of battles. He's been through it all.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior is Larry Bird for me. Plus, he's got wasn't he an MVP 1 year for? Oh, I mean, sure.
1 year. I mean, multiple times. He's a multiple MVP.
Russell was too. Everything, but
yeah, Larry Bird is. I understand your case totally. I just think Russell just establishing the Celtics as the preeminent NBA franchise.
Definitely.
And just being the player coach and all of that.
I think the guy who brought it to new heights had to be Larry Bird. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you're not a great franchise after winning fucking 11 championships or some shit like that. Like, Bill Russell, if there could be 2 Ultimate Warriors,
it would be the Celtics.
Bill Russell would be right there. It would be those 2 leading the front line.
Okay. So we'll agree to disagree. I totally see your – yeah. I don't even feel like you're wrong. I kind of feel a little differently about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm wrong, but I don't think you're wrong about choosing Bill Russell either, because, like, I can't not make a case for Bill Russell to be his Ultimate Warrior. Like, the guy has so many rings. He coached for the team. He's a Celtic lifer. That pretty much gets it for me in my book. Like, So it's a little co-captaincy of alphas.
We'll call them co-warriors. Okay. Was Adrian Dantley ever on this franchise?
Yeah.
This is important, okay? And he was not.
Was, in fact, never on this franchise. He was
shocking.
Part of the Pistons team that would constantly fight these guys.
Yeah. And then they shipped him out.
Yeah. So maybe that would include him. He's part of the legacy.
Okay. So how many championships? I mean, I think it's 17.
Talking in today's league? Or are we talking all together?
Sorry, how many? Oh, 1 sec. I'll cut this part out real quick. So how many championships do the Celtics have? They have 17 championships.
So stupid. I mean, what a franchise, dude. Just stop.
Incredible.
A couple of seasons off, dude.
It really is all downhill from here, championship-wise.
Yeah.
Best version of this team seems like it's some 80s team. Feels like you have Parrish and McHale.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an 80s team for sure.
Yeah, so I I will defer to the Celtics experts on that, but it's probably somewhere in the mid 80s there.
Right.
Strengths of our team that we have selected. Versatility.
Yeah.
Pretty versatile team.
They got
Um,
size. I don't see them lacking in size at all.
Yeah, really good size positionally all around.
Yeah.
Rondo is your smallest player, but as you brought up, he's ridiculously long, has huge hands. Yeah, I think that's a big strength.
He was good defensively. Rondo was a good defensive point guard too. He
Nasty.
really put the clamps on a lot of point guards. So
A lot of really good point guards too.
yeah. So definitely the strengths. They got probably a defensive presence too.
Yeah. I say
When you think about Dennis Johnson, you think about that crazy ass steal that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point guard position is really great defensively.
Yeah.
Some tough shot makers. Bird, Paul Pierce, Jason Tatum.
Bird, Pierce.
McHale. But you want to say McHale makes everything look easy. So I don't know. Really good post play with McHale.
Yeah.
I would say weaknesses. It's not the best shooting team.
Yeah.
I think
they have their shooters. They have their shooters, but they can probably shoot
Larry
themselves
Bird,
out
you're
of
not
it.
really going to complain. Paul Pierce, you're not really going to complain. But you'll see some teams that are better, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not like 1 to 7 best defensive teams. Like McHale and Pierce, and we've seen highlights of them just getting cooked.
Toronto. Let's go a little bit up more north here, because that was fucking easy. You know, like there's so many fucking like that's why like we could have done a whole fucking podcast about the fucking Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
you know, like it's they're that fucking iconic of a franchise, and they have that many good players. Like I was saying, like we could just bracket these guys down into like teams of 5.
Yeah,
you know, or something like that. Like there's too many. There's too many to count. You know.
Okay, so this is something I had more trouble with, just because of a lot of their stars had been on multiple teams and went to be more prolific somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to run through it, and then I'm going to just have you say what you think about it, because it's a little rough. So the player pool, we had Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Tracy McGrady, Kawhi, Hakeem, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Del Curry, Chris Bosh, Damon Stoudemire, Antonio Davis, Charles Oakley, Jose Calderon. He was on that team for a long time, and Jalen.
Yeah, no, I like the Calderon add-in, dude. I'm surprised you didn't put what's that dude's name? Dude, he used to play for the Raptors.
Bargnani?
No, that's a good one too. That's a good one too, Bargnani. Oh man, what a fucking flopper! But
yeah,
there was I think his name was like Parker, maybe Anthony Parker. No, but now I'm thinking of like Tony Parker.
Yeah, like Anthony Parker, guy who plays for San Antonio.
No, fuck, man.
Maybe I'll come back to you.
Yeah, maybe.
So here's my top 7, and this is you're probably going to disagree with this, just because a lot of these guys I felt like did better in different spots. So I have Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Bosh. I feel like those are locks.
Yeah, definitely have to be, and that's a good like core.
I think it's really good, especially with Kyle Lowry the last few years.
Yeah,
DeMar, I still like DeMar. His footwork is just amazing, and he can get to the line. And then Chris Bosh is like the ideal center for modern day. And then I have Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady on this team. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Vince Carter, yes. Tracy McGrady. If we're gonna talk about like a Raptors version of Tracy McGrady, we're gonna talk about like not the complete version of like Tracy McGrady. Like this is a very young T-Mac. This is right out of high school. You know, I wouldn't I would put him in this team because he was pretty like insane
But
for that
let's
the
go with
year
your
that he
gut.
was
Let's
there.
go with your gut. Where would you put him?
I'd leave him off this one, dude.
So let's do that because I felt weird having Vince and Tracy on this team.
Well,
It just
T-Mac,
didn't.
you can put him on two like he's a lifer on two teams, and we know
Yeah,
which ones.
yeah.
Like
So we can get to that later, and
he
so
ripped it up, but like
I
let's
agree with
leave
you
him off
here.
though.
So I'm going to omit Tracy McGrady. So we have our four right now: Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. That's a great first four.
Yeah.
Um,
And a quick note: the dude's name was actually Anthony Parker.
really? Let me look this up. I feel like such an idiot now. Good pull.
It was hard, dude. I thought I was wrong as fuck, but his name is fucking Anthony Parker,
Let's
dude.
look at Anthony Parker. Now I feel like a complete idiot. Oh yeah,
You remember this guy?
he's
He played for
he's the
Toronto
general manager
from
for the.
2006 to 2009.
He's an iconic EuroLeague player.
Yeah. Averaged 12 and a half points in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean he's cool, but he's not making the.
No, but that's one player I like remember when like Bosch and shit like when like it was 06, 07, 08, 09. It was like I
Yeah,
was just like, man, Anthony Parker's like kind of good, but he was average. He was just a role player there. The Raptors were never really that good. They were just kind of a hype team.
yeah,
They fell apart when Bosch left, but
and then they resurged
yeah.
with Lowry.
Oh shit, did they resurge?
Um, so I have Jalen Rose on this team. Is that correct? Is this the right Jalen Rose? Because he got cooked by Kobe
Yeah, dude.
on
I
this
like.
team.
Are you trying to make him like relive like bad? Like I don't. I think he tries to like forget about his time
I
in
think it's so. You think
Toronto.
it's
Dude.
just
Like
messed up? Is
I
it
don't
just
want to bring it
cool?
up to him anymore, dude. Like I think he was a better player in Indiana. Uh, or I'm pretty sure there had to be a few more teams he fucking played with Jalen Rose.
So
Um,
okay, is it so? Let's have Jalen Rose played on a few teams. So should we just do him the courtesy of let's keep him off?
yeah, we're gonna keep them off. I don't. I
Um,
just don't think he could like. Yeah, I just don't picture him as much of a Raptor.
yeah, I mean, there's another team where
He did 4 years in Toronto, and those years, they weren't that bad. Averaged 18 and a half in
yeah,
2005. That's pretty good. But here in Chicago, I guess in Chicago he averaged 22. Well, he's always been a pretty prolific scorer, but like
yeah. He's
he did
out.
damage in Indiana, dude. I mean, they made the finals one year when he was
Yeah,
there.
we'll okay. So we'll just omit him and we'll wait till we get there. Um, I want to put Damon Stoudemire here.
I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
okay. So that brings us to five, with not very much size. We have a lot of interchangeable parts. A good modern NBA five right there, but
Mm-hmm.
we need some length. So I'm looking at what I have, what I put here.
I
I've included,
wanna add Pascal Siakam.
boom.
I love it. I like even though he like I don't know. I'm pretty sure we
It's like
watched it for a
Tatum.
while, but I was constantly bitching and moaning about Pascal Siakam in the finals because he was
Such a
killing
problem.
us. He was killing us. So I mean, he earned it on that one. Like if you bring a championship to fucking Canada, dude, yeah, you're probably one of their greats.
I
Yeah,
mean, Kawhi was a big part of that, the
Kawhi
biggest
was.
part of that.
But
But
now Kawhi
Siakam's
also,
growth,
when he goes from team to team, he just looks like some kind of mercenary.
yeah,
And it's just like, well, I guess we could put him on here, but we'll probably be able to put him over there. Like he could easily be one of the best Spurs too. It's
yeah.
fucking nuts how he just came into the league and was just like, I'm just gonna be fucking Kawhi Leonard and I'm gonna guard LeBron. I'm gonna win Finals MVP. Like I know he didn't do it, but like he didn't like like say it or speak it
Mhm.
into existence.
But I mean, his actions.
But he was a presence, dude. Like the moment Kawhi stepped in the league, you're just like, damn, this kid's fucking in
Okay,
the
so
right place, dude. And like what a place for a player to grow in San Antonio. Like San Antonio is like just the hub of where you learn how to play basketball professionally. You know,
Hmm.
you just Popovich just he puts you through a grinder and you know a system and you know how to play basketball and you know how to play it well. Like that's one thing I'll never disagree about. I may not like the Spurs, but boy, they play pretty good basketball. And no matter what team they put out there, they play some decent basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so now we have 6 players. I still think we need a little bit size, but I can be talked into whatever. What do you think here?
Let me take a look at that poo. I mean,
What do you think about Bargnani? Is that just
no, Bargnani. What, do you want these guys to lose every game, dude? Because fuck Bargnani, dude. What a waste. Like, I'm sure Toronto's trying to just get the fuck over Bargnani. Like, and they have. They won a championship. Things are great, dude. They don't fucking like Bargnani is such an afterthought. He's terrible. He's terrible. Fuck Bargnani. He's like it's a funny thing because he was a first round draft pick. He was number 1. It's crazy.
You
And
can't
he's
just
not
say he's the
even in the
first.
league.
He's the number 1 pick.
He's like I don't like there's been some flops out there, but he's one of them. You know, he's
Okay.
definitely one of them, and he will remain that way.
What do you think
Can't put him
about adding a true center and adding Antonio Davis?
I like that.
He's the one that stands out to me.
I like that. But why don't you like Chris Bosh and Siakam down there? Like, if we're talking about 2K, and especially in this league that we got going today, you got Chris Bosh and Siakam, kind of both stretch bigs now. We got stretch bigs, and then you got Vince Carter and DeMar DeRozan, wings. And then your point guard is either Damon Stoudemire or Kyle Lowry, and that is a solid team.
So, do you think we go wing here? So, I'm saying that we should go center.
You're saying we should get another big man in here, and I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you 100%, and
Okay.
it should be
Antonio Davis is the one that stands out to me, but
Antonio Davis. Hold on, let me see it. Wait, take a look. This motherfucker stats. Like, and that's another thing. I totally forget that Antonio Davis played for the Raptors.
yeah, had some good years.
2000 and 2006. Yeah. Wow. Excuse me.
Let's look at his best year.
It would have to be 2002, 2001, 2002. He averaged 14.5 points, and he was getting where's the boards? Give me the boards. Total rebounds. Okay, 9.5. So he was almost averaging a double-double in 2001, 2002. And that's decent.
What were the shooting percentages?
His shooting percentages, his free throw percentage was 81. Wow, 81 that year. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a guy that you can have out there Chris Bosh is going to play 38 minutes. To have a guy come in and, shot decent field goals. Yeah, as a career 10-7 guy.
I like the Antonio Davis add-in. He has a little bit of a stronger presence. Yeah. Gives that inside and a little more validity.
Yeah. So I think that would be my pick to solidify
I love it.
I really like this team.
Dude, yeah, no, it's sick. I can't wait to put these guys together in 2K. That's icky.
DeMar and Vince, they're kind of they're similar.
Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot about. Oh wait, did we omit Kawhi or did we put him in this? I'm pretty sure we put Kawhi. Yeah. Okay, so there's another. Jesus Christ! Yeah, this team's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no Kawhi, no Tracy McGrady, no Jalen Rose.
No, there's Kawhi. Yeah, Kawhi.
No, we omitted him.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because he's part of because he's a fucking gun for hire. I forgot.
Yeah. There's an argument, but
I put him there because he gave them the first championship, but also he'll probably give the Clippers the first championship soon, and then Indiana Pacers will get a champion. They're he'll just keep bouncing around the league, giving people championships here and there, dude. What if he was that good? You could just play basketball somewhere else.
Well, we'll see if they restart the season. We'll see if he wins this championship with the Clippers. Totally possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like we have solidified Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Bosh, Vince Carter, Damon Stoudemire, Pascal Siakam, Antonio Davis. I like it. I think that's a fun team. That's going to be one of your favorite teams to play with. Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Raptor. I have my pick. I'll say mine first. Kyle Lowry. What do you think?
I like that. He definitely like when you want to talk about like a tough Raptor, like a good player and like a dude who represents Toronto well. It's definitely Kyle Lowry, dude. He's put the better years of his career into this team, you know. So I like that pick as Ultimate Warrior. He's definitely a guy they can rally around. I mean, you know, you got your personalities and your superstars on that team, but Kyle Lowry's probably going to tone things down, and he's probably going to take control of that team, you know. And he's a more than decent shooter.
Yeah, he's where
I think
most of the shooting
I
is on
think
the
that's a
team.
great pick, dude.
Okay,
Champion.
cool.
I think he won collegiately too, didn't he?
Collegiately? What, he's
I think he won
Villanova?
from Villanova, didn't he? I don't know. Could be bullshit.
Check that real quick. Was Adrian Dantley ever on this team?
No.
Definitely not. He wanted to, though. Adrian Dantley desperately wanted to.
He told his agent he wants to be
Any franchise he's never been a part of, it kills him. How many championships? That 2019, that one. It was a big one, though.
That's one, and maybe if you extended the league again with these guys, maybe one more. That's such an easy one, dude. Let's go to
what was the best version of this team? 2019.
2019 for sure.
Inarguable. So let's look at our team that we've selected. What are the strengths of our team?
The strength is definitely the athleticism and the freaking I guess how that floor can be run.
Yeah.
You could see these guys running, just doing fast breaks up and down the court.
This might be the best transition team. We'll see.
Yeah, it could be a really good transition team. You got high flyers and Vince Carter and DeMar DeRozan. Kawhi Leonard's just defensive freaking.
Whoa, no Kawhi. No Kawhi on this one.
I always forget about Kawhi. That's I hate it, but that's now what I think about when Raptors. I was like, man, dude.
Yeah, it's tough to not.
How do you win a championship with a one and done year? That's insane.
It's pretty nuts. He's definitely an honorable mention.
Definitely honorable mention.
Yeah, I think they
well, also you got Antonio Davis who can fly. You know,
yeah.
You throw it up, that dude can slam it down. Chris Bosh, you know he can provide. He's stretch four all day. Pascal Siakam, great going to the rim.
A lot of guys that can create.
That's a high flying team. I would love to see that team.
I think everyone can create their own shot, except Antonio Davis, but he's not terrible at that. His role would be more him and Damon coming in and just pick and roll, just destroying other teams.
Monsters.
So let's look at the weakness. I mean, not a ton.
Yeah, not a ton. Maybe defensively, but I hate saying that. But because I feel like they are good defensively, I see no weaknesses.
Yeah, I think they're pretty decent at everything.
Yeah,
maybe not the most elite.
No, definitely not the most elite. Could they stand against some of the more legendary teams? Maybe not. But would they give them a shot? Would they give them a fight? For sure. It would be a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our next team, the Philadelphia 76ers.
Really? So this is another one where we just have a pool of legends and Hall of Famers where it's going to be really we could have we just could have done a separate podcast about the Sixers, dude. I mean, there's too many guys, but I mean,
let's run through it. So we have Wilt Chamberlain, Julius Erving, Charles Barkley, Joel Embiid,
AI,
AI,
Iggy.
Iguodala, Moses Malone, Dikembe Mutombo, Ben Simmons, Mo Cheeks, Billy Cunningham, Daryl Dawkins, and Bob McAdoo. I mean, that's omitting some great ex-Sixers.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, dude, it's hard.
you want to see where I landed on this? And
I like your top 7. It's it's pretty crazy. I see you have Kyle Korver on there,
yeah,
which
so that's the one where it's like, this team's too good maybe to just put a shooter in. So I have
yeah,
Julius Irving, Moses Malone, Joel Embiid. That's a huge front court. Allen Iverson, Mo Cheeks, Kyle Korver, Charles Barkley.
I like it. I like it. I like Charles Barkley when he was in the Philly.
I loved him him on Philly was probably the most fun.
Yeah, it was nice. But let's see, Kyle Korver. Yeah, Kyle Korver. He's just been just a shooter his entire.
Just a
He'd just be
marksman.
good. When Irving's trying to get into the lane and try to get to the bucket, and you can just you got Kyle Korver probably waiting in the corner somewhere, or somewhere on the perimeter 3 line. But I mean, who's really running this show is probably AI. And AI in 2001, 2000, probably the best basketball player I've ever fucking seen. And like that could be said for young, old, and indifferent. Like everyone can agree that Allen Iverson in 2000, 2001 was just a fucking iconic player.
It was insane.
He's something I'd never seen before. And when you're something like that, you got to be one of the best. I mean, I know Jordan's going to go down as greatest, but like we saw Iverson really just turn the game on its head and then put a headband on it. Like fucking
put
really
a
changed his game.
Put a Band-Aid under his eye about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he
told the game to put on a sleeve, dude, and boy, they listen.
I mean, his cultural impact for really bringing that type of culture into the suburbs.
Play, the culture of it, yeah, it's
was important for the scalability of the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So amazing. The only thing that worries me with my top 7 is the wings. I mean, we have a lot of the wings on this team would be Julius Irving, Kyle Korver, and then I guess you want to call Mo Cheeks is more of a smaller guard.
Yeah, he's a small point guard, or I guess he can play shooting guard too, but you would want him running the floor, and then you could have Allen Iverson literally working, just like off the ball, like you normally did. It was just like kind of, Iverson goes, backdoor screen or something like that, and he'll just be open and then shake 2 defenders, get an easy bucket. Won't be easy for us, but that was easy for everyone.
What do you think about putting Ben Simmons in for Mo Cheeks or Kyle Korver?
I would do that. I would like that.
So I think Kyle Korver is kind of indispensable for this top 7 because of
who can shoot. Who can shoot. And looking at this team, I don't really see that. I mean, yeah, you got Joel Embiid and Allen Iverson,
but really don't want Joel Embiid shooting threes.
And Charles Barkley I'm sure he can score too, but Kyle Korver is going to be the consistent threat from the 3-point line that you want from this team, especially all the double teams that Julius Irving or Barkley or even Iverson would demand from a defense. You want Kyle Korver out there, kind of just floating around the 3-point line.
I mean, look how well Redick was in that role.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you cool with the Julius Irving, Moses Malone, Joel Embiid, Allen Iverson, Ben Simmons, Kyle Korver, Charles Barkley? I don't know why I'm putting Charles Barkley last, but
I don't think it's like a ranking system. I think it's just we're just drawing.
That's it.
Yeah. The first and last it could be the same thing.
That's an incredibly large team.
Ben Simmons. Yeah, that's a big team.
Intimidating team.
So, I'm looking right now. Ultimate Warrior got to be Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Okay. Tell
Moses
me why.
Malone, dude. He is the big man, and like especially like Moses Malone for being like a tough, like just a tough big dude. You need that. I don't see anyone else who could be the Ultimate Warrior here.
Do you think he represents Philly the most?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, Iverson probably represents Philly the most, but like,
Yeah, I'm fine with either him or AI.
yeah, yeah, I like those.
Okay. All right.
Here,
I'm
let me
fine
look
with
up.
Moses Malone. Moses Malone is probably one of the more underrated players that's ever played.
I
And
think Moses Malone won with.
he won with Philly with Julius.
No, I think he won with Houston.
Wait, he didn't win with
82, 83. Yeah. No, he won with Philly. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, no.
and
But
that
look
was
at
right
these stats.
before Barkley got there.
24 and a half points the year they won. 15 fucking rebounds, dude. This guy's a walking double-double. Like, yeah, dude, I would probably give it to Mo Malone, dude.
He won an MVP on the Sixers. Um, yeah, he
Yeah,
was really
three-time,
important.
three-time
In
MVP.
he stood out in a time where big men were really important. And he was the best at one point. So yeah, I think I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question: did Adrian Dantley play for this franchise?
No,
He did not. He did
I
not.
don't believe
But this is another one. It slipped away. He wanted to really bad.
it.
He yeah, he would belabor his agent trying to get to Philly, but he was never able to make
Oh,
it.
they never got the deal done.
Okay.
That's crazy though. Dantley's played for a few teams, dude.
Yeah, we'll eventually get there.
Yeah. Hold on.
So, how many championships the 76ers won? They've won 3.
Which seems
55.
like a huge, like underwhelming number.
Yeah, for such an
Like
iconic franchise. Yeah,
for the Sixers.
yeah. I mean, the Warriors. Like 10
Yeah,
years
the
ago.
Warriors ripped 3 off in a
Yeah.
matter of fucking a half decade. But
So yeah. Best version of this team. 83, probably.
probably
Really good. Would have been nice to
champs.
have Chuck in there, but
They're
wasn't
the
draft.
champs, no problem. Easy on that one. And
Um,
then
obvious strengths of this team: size.
size.
Money
I
to
don't see
save.
them having a problem scoring either.
No, pretty good defensively too. I
Yeah.
mean, Ben Simmons is I think he's turning into one of the best perimeter defenders in the game.
Would Ben Simmons play the point guard in this team?
It looks like it, right? I
Yeah.
would like
You
him
wouldn't
to.
have AI run a point?
I mean, it's. I
I
think,
bet it's better to have AI coming off the ball, especially because Ben Simmons doesn't really know how to do that.
yeah. Um, his strengths are passing and transition offense.
Yeah.
So AI can really do it all.
Yeah.
So
Weaknesses? Do you see any, Matt?
weaknesses. I mean, we had to put Kyle Korver in just for shooting.
Should we just put weaknesses, Kyle Korver?
Yeah. Reddick's going to be on another team, but yeah, Reddick
Yeah.
would have been another good. I just picked Korver because Reddick was needed on another team.
Yeah. I mean, Reddick played for Philly, but he did a considerably more amount of work somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're thinking Orlando?
Well, we'll get to it. We'll
Okay.
debate it. We'll
Okay.
debate it. So yeah, this is another. These first 3 teams are very different, but awesome. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of talent throughout the NBA.
Okay. Like I couldn't imagine, dude.
So this is the first team where I'm not stoked about it. So we'll move on. We'll move on to the Nets. So a lot of great players have run through this team, but not a lot of iconic Nets. You know, so our player pool is we have Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, Darren Williams, Julius Irving, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Drazen Petrovic, Richard Jefferson, Brooke Lopez, Kenyon Martin, Joe Johnson, Derek Coleman, Stephon Marbury, Daryl Dawkins, Kerry Kittles, Bob McAdoo. That's a pretty great pool.
Yeah, that's a great pool. That's a great pool.
A lot of them didn't have iconic Nets careers.
Yeah. It's a similar situation in Toronto where a lot of these guys moved on to have better careers elsewhere. Darren Williams, I think he got traded to New Jersey.
Oh yeah, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
That was a weird time because that was, I think, the year LeBron. It might have been the year before LeBron left, or the year LeBron left.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy trade to just kind of load up the East. The East was pretty weak at that time.
After the Jazz being so strong, you wouldn't have thought they would trade away their star.
It was weird, yeah. It was really weird.
That's why the Jazz are the Utah Jazz, man.
But they kind of won that trade, I guess.
Yeah, in a way, they definitely won it. But like,
there was a couple years though where Darren Williams was awesome on the Nets.
Yeah, I remember being a fantasy owner of Darren Williams. I think the year he was like the first year he was in New Jersey, he just
we were
off
playing
for
each
like
other.
Straight games or some shit.
I picked Derrick Rose the year after he had his MVP year, and then he got hurt that year, so that was fun. So let me lay out my 7 and let you parse it. Jason. So I have Jason Kidd, Drazen Petrovic, Brooke Lopez, Kenyon Martin, Derek Coleman, Stephon Marbury, Joe Johnson.
I like the first 5. Last 2, I want to put him somewhere else because I think I like Stephon Marbury. I like him in a Knicks uniform. So I always thought he was so sick when he went to the Knicks. But I'd like to pick, but I want to change Marbury and Joe Johnson to Richard Jefferson. Yeah, Richard Jefferson and you know what?
Where are you putting Joe Johnson?
Atlanta.
Okay. So we have Jason Kidd, Drazen Petrovic, Kenyon Martin, Derek Coleman, and Richard Jefferson. So I think we need – see, the reason why I had Stephon there was just because I felt like they needed some juice. I really like the front court situation.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, Drazen Petrovic. That's lethal. Kenyon Martin, what would he would be your power forward?
Yeah.
And I see why you got Joe Johnson in there, but I want to save Joe Johnson for a different. That's why I picked Richard Jefferson. That's why I chose.
I don't love Richard Jefferson, but I think he does have a role on this team.
Yeah. And is there a reason you didn't pick Kyrie Irving?
I felt like he was more iconic as a Cavs player. I kind of wanted to keep him on the Cavs.
That's literally what I would have said.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we already used up Julius Irving. He was iconic net, but
we used Vince Carter too. Vince Carter was a fun net to watch, dude.
He was, but
I remember when he came. Dude, I thought that Nets team with Jason Kidd and Vince Carter was just fucking scary, dude. They were winning some games.
Yeah. It was a weak East, but yeah, they were definitely the cream of the crop.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Kerry Kittles? I don't.
No.
I'm good.
Kerry Kittles sounds like some kind of fucking, fucking niblet cat food. Some shit, dude. Some kind of cat treat that you give for your cat for being a good cat, shitting in the The Kerry
Cat
Kittle's
litter.
endorsed litter box.
Um, what do you want to do, Darren Williams? Like, I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I'll go Darren Williams on this one over Marbury.
Okay.
Because I mean,
I
are
mean,
we
what do
gonna
you think? Do you
put
think the
Darren Williams in
criminals are
Utah
not going to
over
Jazz?
Stockton?
What was it?
Huh? Are we gonna put Darren Williams in Utah over Stockton?
I was thinking that'd be an interesting backcourt.
I don't know. He made his money over here in New Jersey. I think we should give him the nod for the Nets. I mean, because like, we'll just wait till we get to Utah. Like, there's gonna be some
You think
discrepancies there.
they're a fat cat already? They've got
Yeah.
enough.
I mean, I would also probably choose Darren Williams for Utah too, but I think there's other guys
We
too
need to
that we can
disperse the wealth a little bit.
get a little
And he
bit.
did have a couple really good years
Mm-hmm.
here in the Nets.
True.
Okay, so who is your ultimate warrior, ultimate net?
Drazen Petrovic, dude.
Marco Lopez? Oh, what? Sorry.
Drazen Petrovic.
Drazen Petrovic. Okay.
Had to be, dude. I mean, he got high praise from Jordan. It sucks that he died, but from what I know and what I've seen, he was going to be a hell of an NBA player.
Yeah, I mean, he showed it. I really think he had the type of game where it translates. It's like he's great for like 30 years. If you go back 30 years, he's can play in the NBA and be a really important part of any team. So I think he's super important for this team. I can see
Only
him
had
being
3 years in the NBA, and two to three of them was in New Jersey. So
yeah, and he was awesome.
pretty much immortalized himself in there as the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, and what he did for European players, and just, I mean, he's really the founder of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I do not disagree at all. Okay.
Pure scorer though, man. Averaging 22 in his last season.
Crazy.
50% from
he obviously had
45% from the free throw line or 3-point line. That's not bad.
45.
45.
I mean, that's
44.
incredible.
Sorry.
That's incredible.
In his first year, he had 45. Damn.
So
Field goal percentage was 50%. Dude, he was nice, dude. He was fucking nice. He's not missing, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. If you want to identify your Ultimate Warrior with someone on this team for New Jersey Nets, Brooklyn Nets, Petrovic, just because he's probably got murals in Brooklyn somewhere, dude.
So what stopped you from putting Garrett Temple on this team? That should be the new category. Was Garrett Temple on this team? Yes, he was.
Garrett Temple.
Yes, he's on the Nets. But was Adrian Dantley ever on this team? He was not on this team. Adrian Dantley was not on this team, but he dearly. He had the tickets in hand. he had a condo in New Brunswick,
in Bed-Stuy,
Camden. So the best version of this team, 2003.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, it sucks that they had to play against like an immortal Lakers team, you know, with like Kobe just becoming a fucking superstar like within that season.
No, so you're talking about the 02 team.
02.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that I guess 02, 03. Whenever they decided,
either of those.
When they lost the finals and then decided to get Vince Carter and then push for another title or a title run. But yeah, I got to be the best version of that team. Would you say the old ballers, the old Celtics when they went to Brooklyn? Would you say that's a good version of the team? No.
Absolutely not. I hated that team. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit, but I hated that team.
Yeah.
Such a bad trade. Oh man. Strengths of this team. I really like It's pretty well rounded. A lot of pretty above average shooting team.
Yeah,
If
it's
we
it's
if
so
we
it's so
if we
hard. It's so hard to name these weaknesses of these players, Matt.
yeah
Because like sometimes, like when I look at this team, I'm like, man, you throw these guys on a court, what the fuck is their weakness?
yeah no, but
Like I couldn't find
we have to
it.
keep a standard. Yeah, we have to keep a
Yeah.
standard. I think you can argue that their strengths pretty good shooting. Like if we include Jason Kidd's laugh ass last half of his career, um, he became a really good shooter on the
Yeah,
Mavericks.
I had
So
no idea he was like one of the like
he was horrible.
one of the players with the most 3-pointers. Yeah, he had the most 3-pointers or some shit like that. He's hella threes.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a shit ton of threes, dude. I remember I was like, it was a bizarre stat because I was like, I never like even when he was young and in his prime, dude. Like I never saw this guy shooting threes that much. Like, yeah, he's a good shooter, but he was always trying to get to the lane, slice dudes up, But
Yeah.
fuck, like I remember him hitting a three for Dallas one day, and like they said some kind of record that he got for threes, and I was like, that's ridiculous.
Odd. Like I
Like,
remember the first
but
half of his career.
he was a great shooter in his older years.
Yeah, it's pretty
Great
incredible.
shooter.
Deserves
Didn't
a lot of
miss.
credit.
Didn't miss. I remember watching him as a Dallas Maverick. I was pumped, dude. He was exciting.
Okay, well, yeah, I totally agree. I would say the weakness of this team is there. We have had three teams so far. A couple of them have had just amazing wings, and it looks like our best wing defender is Jason Kidd. I mean, no, sorry, Richard Jefferson, and that kind of scares me.
Yeah, yeah, it is kind of scary. I
I
mean, we got paint protectors though. We got Brooke Lopez, Kenyon Martin, Derek Coleman.
yeah,
You know, and I don't really know how Drazen Petrovic was, guarding, but I assume he could hold his own.
yeah, he'll be guarding more the
Yeah.
two in
But yeah,
this
no,
game.
there is. I mean, Jefferson's gonna get cooked a lot
There's
by
going to be a lot of Jefferson cooking.
a lot of these great. Like, I don't even know if his 2K rating got really high in the 90s. Even was like as it progresses. Like he could have great
He
years. I
probably
think he'll
peaked in
just
the mid
maybe
80s
like
on 2K.
3, 4, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving RJ the credit he deserves, dude.
Okay, so we're now on to the next New York-based team, the iconic New York Knicks, who have been bad for 20 years, except 1 year, um, because of an owner. There's never been an owner that is just
It's so crazy, like how clear the ownership is fucking this franchise,
it's.
and no one's gonna do shit about it. Well, James Dolan's not gonna sell a team, so I mean,
Do you remember the Spike Lee on First Take a few months ago, just losing
yeah,
New York
yeah,
Pin, New
dude.
York Pin? He was gonna have an aneurysm on live TV. I felt
He
for
was
him.
so mad. He was so mad. He got fucking fucked with when he was taking like the back door into the
But
stadium and
rightfully
shit.
so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Dude, it's Spike fucking Lee. You expect him to fucking take admission? General admission? Fuck that. You
Spike
coming in through the
Lee,
back, dude. Like, yeah, that
ridiculous.
was that was. I mean, he had every right to be mad about that shit. That's crazy shit. Like, how? Like, what kind of rookie security officer is like, fucking like doesn't know who this guy is? He's got his Knicks pins on his hat and shit like that. It's just like, all right, maybe this guy's a crazy fucking fan. Maybe I can just talk him down for a sec. Maybe he's fucking Spike Lee and I'm an idiot and I don't know. You know? I wonder what was going through that security officer's head just pissing Spike Lee off. Like,
So ridiculous.
ridiculous. And I imagine Spike Lee, he's saying hi and hello to everyone else around the building. Like, don't give this fucking guy a hard time, dude.
Such a low moment.
I feel like a lot of fans they'll just go to the Knicks aren't shit. They'll go to the game to see Spike Lee, just sit and berate the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's what you go to the
Yeah,
Garden
it
for.
turned
Oh
from
man,
berating all-time great 90s players to
yeah.
berating his own team.
You guys want to go to a Knicks game? Hey, is Spike Lee gonna be there? Of course,
Probably.
man. Are they gonna play with a basketball?
Can white men not jump? Yeah. Um, okay, so let's go through this player pool real quick. Pretty guy for how shitty it's been the last 20 years. Pretty iconic.
They have everybody
Uh,
they need.
yeah, I love.
if
I
they
love.
if they
This is my
take
one of my
pieces of
favorite teams that
yeah,
that
it's
we've
a fun
done.
team.
Bernard King, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Walt Frazier, Carmelo Anthony, Willis Reed, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Kristaps Porzingis, Allen Houston, John Starks, Amari, Larry Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Mark Jackson, Bob McAdoo, Anthony Mason. That's a fun ass group. Um, let me tell you my top 7 and tell you what you think. We're gonna probably have to change it because you called an audible with the Nets. Um, so we have Bernard King, Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed. I fucking love that starting 5. Like I
Yeah,
love that starting 5.
it's a classic Hall of Fame starting five.
You can do so much shit. Well, maybe Allen Houston's like not he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was such a good scorer.
And I'll tell you, in the 2K, he's a beast.
I believe
In
it.
2K, dude, he doesn't miss.
Rip
I
Hamilton,
love playing with Allen Houston, dude. Number 20 on the back, dude. Fucking love it, dude.
I love
He's fun. Like he's what makes the New York Knicks like in 2K pretty bearable. Like this all time because like yeah, you have like Walt Frazier, who like yeah he can shoot, but his like release is kind of fucked up.
he's a floor
Patrick
guy.
Ewing, he can only extend so far. Willis Reed, I think I had to like boost his stats to give him like more of a
Well, he was
more
great
of a,
though.
he
He's a
was
Hall of
great,
Famer.
but like if I wanted to take a mid range jumper with Willis Reed, it would be like would be a fatal mistake. I don't know why, but it was 2K. Like
That's something we
sometimes,
have to address
yeah.
when we start the season because I don't think they put enough. They probably put a lot of time in Willis Reed's stats and the accuracy of it. So that's something we would have to adjust at the time. But Willis Reed was an absolute
Oh,
dog. So I
I think we
love,
already know who our Ultimate Warrior is.
yeah. Um, but that could be Ari. I mean Bernard King. But I love just how traditional the starting 5 is. It's like perfect.
Yeah.
So I have as my 6th man, I have Latrell Sprewell, and then I had Earl the Pearl Monroe. But you just threw a curveball saying that Stephon needs to be on this team, and I kind
All
of
right.
like the
Well,
idea.
it's a bias. I don't know if this team would be right. Like, but I'll tell you, these last couple seasons I've been doing this 2K thing. I've only had Marbury on this fucking Knicks team one time, and it's pissing me off, dude, because he's gone to 3 different teams now, and I'm trying to get this guy back in New York, but they have so many point guards, like it just doesn't
Yeah, they're
make sense sometimes, dude.
like we
It's
didn't even
hard.
sniff Mark
It's a tough
Jackson
pill to
or
swallow for me, Matt.
what?
I really wanted him on this team.
You know what? Let's just be very messy with this and kick Earl the Pearl Monroe off, and let's just have the bench be just the all-time jail blazery like nut jobs coming off the bench. 2 nut
Yeah.
jobs for hire that can get buckets. I love
Sprewell
it.
and Marbury.
So let's do Latrell Sprewell and
Fucking
Stephon
Van
Marbury.
Gundy sitting with his clipboard like,
Yeah.
okay, Latrell, you're in.
You're in. Only Stephon comes in with me.
I can't play 7 players.
Well, I guess 2 gotta leave.
They give him the fist flip. Ah!
It's like, I'm better than Bernard King. You know it. It's like, they're just like,
That home up out here.
get Allen Houston's bitch ass out of here. Willis Reed, you stanky old man.
Willis Reed,
Yeah.
stop fucking smiling at me.
I love having this perfect starting 5 and then have 2 amazingly talented nut jobs coming off the bench. It's so Knicks. Like, I love it.
Oh,
This
shit.
is by far my favorite team we've done. So the Ultimate Warrior, who is it? / Nick.
The toss-up between Willie Reed and B. King, dude. So I'm just gonna look at the stats then off of this one,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure Bernard's stats are probably a little bit better.
Yeah.
So career-wise, damn, he was a part of a few teams actually. Nets, Jazz, Warriors, cool. Knicks,
You talking about Willis Reed?
Nets. Bernard King.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was a
Dude,
Warrior.
he played for like fucking 5 teams. He didn't play an entire season for New York because he had an injury to his knee. But the year before that, he averaged 32 points. That's insane. that's a fucking hell of a fucking Jesus.
Not many
And he
people
was
are scoring
he was
32 points.
32 points a small forward. He was getting about 4 assists a night and about 6 rebounds.
He's about
32, 4, and 6 player. Yeah, it was a 32-9. So it's basically, if I'm rounding up, that's 33 fucking points a night.
Yeah, and he's
But,
like the archetype for the wing, the modern 3, like Paul George type.
Yeah, definitely. They don't have a percentage of threes.
Yeah, I mean he's
For
not
him.
shooting many threes, but he could easily have translated into that.
Until 89. Yeah, they didn't record his 3-point percentage until 88. But
Yeah.
I mean, in 88, you didn't need your small forwards to be shooting threes.
No, different
So,
game. He
different
could
time.
have easily done it now.
Exactly.
Somebody,
Willis Reed. Let me check those. Willie Reed. Ooh. You should see his picture on basketballreference.com.
does he have like a stupid nickname?
The captain.
Oh, that's a cool ass nickname.
Not too stupid.
Oh, that's a good photo.
Yeah, right.
He looks like Marvin Gaye a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean this is a guy you want. 75% free throw, 48 field goal, a 19 and 13 career average. Yeah, like this is a guy you want in your front court.
Yeah, and, I mean he was a Nick Lifer too. I mean,
yeah,
you got to give it to Willie Reed. Yeah, I'll give it to Reed. Even though Bernard King was by far the better player.
I'm fine with
Dude,
it.
yeah, Willis Reed averaging over 15 points his entire career.
Yeah, he averaged 19 points a game.
Oh yeah, he's a career double too. I mean,
and he had the Willie Reed moment where he comes in with like a broken foot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I'm fine with that. Adrian Dantley, did he ever play for this franchise? No, but of course he did. It's the Mecca. He tried.
No. He tried. Yeah. He could have.
I feel like the Knicks in like the early 2010s would have signed him if they could have.
Yeah.
How many old legends they had? It's ridiculous. So how many championships do the New York Knicks have?
Jesus,
I don't know
watch it be a fucking dumb number.
Do you think it's a dumb number?
I bet it's a dumb number. I bet it's like something under 5.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's 2. And, and Phil Jackson was on both those teams.
Oh yeah, nice. Oh yeah, so it was like in the 60s or some shit when they won.
It was early 70s, 70 and 73. That's just so sad.
Hey, but like before, like wasn't our last champion like before the Warriors and shit? Our last championship was 75, dude. So we were right in that boat.
Oh yeah.
We just got it. We turned it around faster and better than the New York Knicks could. But why is that, dude? Our front office? It's good. It's better than New York's. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And an all-time player. You get a top 20 player. Kind of changes things.
Yeah, that's true.
So the best version of this team, I mean, you'd want to say the early 70s, but those mid-90s teams were so good.
Yeah,
and
the mid-90s teams we can identify with a little bit more. You know,
yeah,
we want to get some old-timer. We want to get some old-time New Yorker in here. You know, chop some game about the 70s teams by all means. But what we know, Matt, is that those 90s New York's teams were fucking fire. and you got to give it up to those guys, dude. I think it's got to be either like 95. You know, any of the early '90s Knicks teams, because they were tough, dude. The fact that we don't have John Starks in this conversation is crazy, because
Yeah.
he was iconic for those '90s teams, dude. Always guarding Jordan, dude. Poor fella. But yeah, dude. It's got to be one of those '90s teams. Maybe '94 or '95 when they made the finals. One of those years.
Yeah. Um, that's definitely what we relate with. I mean, the two championship teams in the '70s were great. You had Willis Reed, Earl, and Walt Frazier all on the same team. Three
Yeah.
Hall of Famers right there. So yeah, I mean, you guess you'd probably defer to that if we really were wide scope, but we relate to those '90s Knicks teams.
That's true. That's true.
So strengths of this team, well, I think it's the best so far, the most well balanced starting five.
Yeah.
And then you have great scorers off the bench. The weakness is that we assume that James Dolan would be the owner of this team, so anything's
Yeah.
possible.
So this team would get fucking traded away and split apart.
Yeah, they'd be like on a 15-5 start, and then they like trade away fucking Ewing for picks
Patrick
or
Ewing,
something.
Patrick Ewing or some shit.
Just something so frustrating.
Yeah.
I think the weakness is also a strength. It can be both. That you have two nut jobs coming off the bench. There's a chance that your coach can get choked out. So
Don't make the wrong substitution.
yeah. So yeah, this was incredibly fun. The Atlantic Division is stacked. Like
Yeah, the Atlantic. Like I said, there was way too many like iconic teams. We could have done episodes about the Knicks and the fucking Sixers and the fucking Celtics, dude. There's too much. There's too
yeah,
much of that. You know, there's too much iconic teams. I think the central next episode is going to be. Oh wait, we got Chicago in this bitch.
yeah, it's a little lopsided. It'll be more lopsided, but yeah, this is more well
Detroit.
balanced.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, nice. We're gonna have a nice one.
But yeah, this was super fun. Do you have anything to add before we get off?
Um, no, pretty good. We covered a good amount of shit in the span of 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a good talk. In the
I can't wait to put these fucking teams together, dude.
I
On
cannot wait.
2K.
It's
Oh
just
my
gonna.
god,
I'm
the
so
player
excited.
pools are ridiculous in this, dude.
The Knicks are right now my favorite squad so far. What's your favorite squad?
It's either Toronto or New York.
Toronto's fun as well. I can't wait
Toronto's
till they match
fun to
up.
play with. I can't wait till those guys square off.
So yeah, thank you very much. We'll be doing more of these.
Eric, I fucking hate you, dude. Get the fuck out of here. All right, man.
So yeah, we'll see you the next couple of days. We'll do the Central Division.
Yeah, let me know.
Peace.
All right, partner.